Hey everyone, this is making the sausage number 3. This video in particular, I'm not going to be covering Binary Ninja, but specifically all the stuff I had to put together to get stuff ready for streaming. So to give you a background, some of the things I plan on doing in terms of more of the hands-on stuff, I'm going to do live stream on Twitch, maybe even YouTube, depending on how I go with it. I did have a painful experience setting up the audio and getting everything right. I may have finally gotten rid of that CPU noise, and I want to do that by having some kind of background music, which you're hearing right now. The way I ended up doing it, and I'm going to drop the volume of the music briefly, there's a few things. So the short end of this is, the too long didn't read version is, I went through a painful experience doing this, and I'm going to show you how to, so you don't have to repeat the painful experience I went through for setting all this stuff up. Because there was a lot of mixed information and jumbled up information in multiple sources. So now I'm going to put it all in one source. Here we go. So the first few things you're going to need for your streaming are going to be something like OBS. I found it highly effective. It gets everything I need done. I may start using it to make future videos instead of using QuickTime. It's just a lot less painful. So the next thing I did was download a program called NightBot. It links to Twitch, and what I did this for is so I could play music and then have music playing on stream. Now it gets a little dicey with the copywriting. I'm using the Monster Cat one that's a little more allowed, for lack of a better word. So aside from that, the other thing you have to do is tune your audio device settings. And then there's another program called Soundflower. So there's a couple parts to this. You've got OBS, you've got NightBot, and you've got Soundflower. And the links for all that stuff is going to be in the description. So the first thing you need to do is download all the stuff, like NightBot and OBS and Soundflower. Now what Soundflower is going to do is let you do multi-channel audio, and you'll see it here. I'm going to move this out of the way real quick, just to make it less distracting. So when you add Soundflower, and I'm using a Yeti mic, by the way. So when you add this, it's going to allow you to use 2 channels. So my previous problem was I could hear the music, but it wasn't playing on the stream. So what this is going to do is let you play it on the stream. So what you're going to do is, you notice I have the Yeti mic right here. I add the multi-output device because it's going to get sound from both sources. So my input is the mic, and then the output's going to be the computer. And that's where the 2-channel comes in. So that's that piece of it. That's going to get it talking through OBS, and NightBot's the part where you get the music streaming through there. So there's a couple of things about this, really. And I highly recommend downloading the apps rather than using the web interfaces. Just makes things a little easier. And most of the settings are in the same spot. For the NightBot portion of it, and don't worry, we're saving OBS for last because that was a headache. So for the NightBot portion, you're going to go to your song request section is. You got your settings. It's playing off the Monster Cat playlist. I can link it for my own channel playlist for NightBot, but the whole copyright music thing gets just super complicated. In other words, you can't play most of the stuff. This NightBot app thing, or you'll see that in a second. If you'll notice, or when I go to OBS, I'll explain that. But it lets you just basically have the title of the song or whatever these different pieces of metadata are in the corners, and I'll show you that shortly. So it's playing a playlist right now. One thing with the NightBot playlist, or when you're playing it from NightBot, make sure your volume is really low, because it's going to blast and dominate over your voice if you don't. Okay, so that's that. The audio devices, by the way, you can find in the audio MIDI setup. So, MIDI, there you go. That's how you're going to find it. And that'll take you to that, and that's where you add all these devices. You're gonna have to go to here and then create multi-output device, and that's where that'll show. I tried the aggregate one, that didn't do it. Here we go. So next, And last but not least, we're going to go over to OBS. This was quite a pain. Just trying to get it all together anyway. But when it came down to it, after I added the audio devices, the multi-channel device, it was pretty straightforward. So, a few things you'll need to do. Let's see. Go to preferences in OBS. Nothing there. Nothing new there. I didn't change much there. I did change stuff there later, but it had nothing to do with this working. So in audio, once Soundflower and NightBot are set up, you're going to go in here and add the Soundflower as your 2-channel desktop audio device. And I've got my Yeti mic set up as my mic. Then once you go through here, you can add the different sources, and that's where it'll set up right there. Okay. And that's just linking when you add the audio device, and it's pretty straightforward in OBS, so I'm not going to go into depth with that. But you just point it to Soundflower. So it's OBS to Soundflower, and so this NightBot thing, this is all NightBot does inside OBS. This is a text-based source, and all it does is play the current, it'll show you the current song or whatever metadata. So if you want to put the artist in there, you can do that. And what it's doing is it's reading the contents of current song.txt. All that it literally just has the metadata you provided here. So it'll just write to that file, and then that's how it works there. So after all of this, and getting Twitch set up for the streaming, this is where we're at. And now you can hear the music in the background. I turned it down a little low. If you're looking at this, this is where it's at right now. You can kind of see what happens when I raise it. Okay. And I'm speaking on a normal tone, and this is with the desktop audio, all the stuff going through Soundflower and NightBot. As it's changing another song, so it doesn't help my case. Here we go. Now that's with it all the way up. You just tune it however you like and figure out what works best for you. I tend to keep it right around here. I'll weigh that out how it goes as I start streaming more. So with that, that is the end of Making the Sausage 3 and my beginning and ending career in video production. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, like this video, feel free to subscribe. I get notifications so you get more updates when I post more videos. Things like this are one of the reasons why I don't post them as frequently as I'd like to, but as I get better, we'll get more content put out there. I also plan on streaming on Twitch, and if you want to reach out to me and provide suggestions, feel free to provide comments in the comment section. If you didn't like this video, or if I missed something else, feel free to let me know. I can also be reached on Twitter. And with that, we're out.